Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian from Whisper Status 74, and this is going to be a random video. It's one of those, what are you guys watching videos? And I was in the gym the other day, really early in the morning, and came across this Love, Death, and Robots. And I'm a big sci-fi film fan, animation fan, video game fan. Anybody who knows the channel knows the kind of stuff that I like to watch. I was also a big fan of an old, late, or early 80s, late 70s film Heavy Metal, which was based on the comic, which was a movie. And this anthology series, this mix of animated shorts, reminds me so much of Heavy Metal in terms of the grit. There's a lot of violence, a lot of nudity, so please be mindful of that. It is for adults only, but the animation is superb. I've only watched the first few. I skipped over the other ones, but I wanted to do this video and turn you guys onto it if you have not seen it. It is phenomenal, and it looks unbelievable. So fans of animation, I wish I could show you some of it in motion, but it caught me so off guard. The very first one, I'll show you that now, is, I think it's called Sonnies Edge, is there's just so much in that one episode in terms of its art design, the way it looks, the movement of the animation, the grit, the picture quality. We'll talk about it as we go through the stills. I won't give any of it away in terms of the episodes and what they're about, but I will say that the very first episode, when it ended, it caught me off guard, and I really wanted more. Very detailed animation. Unlike, or like, I should say, the new Spider-Verse anime that or animation, major animation that you've seen on 4K Blu-ray, which has an amazing art style all its own, and some of the episodes have a similar art style to that one. What I mean is they're detailed but not detailed. They have fluid, fast twitch motion, but they have a comic book look to them. The Spider-Verse one I loved, but also I didn't love the scan lines that were put into it. I like kind of a more clear image. The way a lot of these are done, especially this one, it has that that Blade Runner 2049 original Blade Runner look. It's clear, but it has a little bit of not a filter on it, but it just looks dirty. It has the feel of the episode. Now the animation, especially in this first episode, has a little bit of that game motion feel of the old Tekken games or the Final Fantasy games from back in the day. This one has more of a BioShock, steampunk look to it, but the movement and the fighting or in the violence is, I've never seen anything like this at this level. And what I mean by that is on something like Netflix. Well done. The sound is very good, but the HDR, the lighting, they were able to capture so much detail that when it ended, I just was like, where's the rest? Where's the rest? They're episodic. There's not, from what I can tell, it's not a continuing story. They're just little shorts. But it reminded me so much of Heavy Metal. Now, if you're familiar, old enough to remember Heavy Metal, if not, look it up. It's, warning, very violent, a lot of nudity. So if you're not into that, I apologize. I'm not showing any of that here, but just be mindful that it is very violent. And there is funny aspects to not this episode, but the very next episode. It's just very good, and I wanted to recommend it to you guys that I'm really enjoying it. But from an animation standpoint, it's so busy. They show in a couple other episodes the out cities and things like that and how detailed they really are. And also because of the technology that we're afforded with 4K resolution and HDR, I feel like this animation just comes to light that much more. It has the immersion of gaming. That's how tight this animation style is. And it reminds me of what's going to be possible in gaming and what is already possible in gaming. And how hand-drawn animation always had that heart to it. It had that depth. Matte paintings of animation in films had more depth than CGI. where now it's blurring the lines between hand-drawn, motion capture, the creativity of those artists. I feel like it's time to start just embracing that. And as much as I love old hand-drawn, cell animation and retroscope and those old things, it's just, this is, to me, that good and has that much intricate style. CGI always seems so lifeless, and this just has the detail in her clothing and the hair and the movement. I mean, really, really good stuff. Now, why do I gush over animation the way I do is that I really do feel that the animation and the art style and even the older Japanese animation, the Battle Angel Alita's Ghost in the Shell, Doom Megalopolis, Akira, I feel like those designs blew away anything in the US and also blew away anything in film. I saw Battle Angel Alita. I thought it was fine, but it was very Americanized, and they changed the bodies of it just was very Transformerish compared to the original simple design. And I feel like animators, when it's animation, can really blow away film. I mean, it just, whatever can be done here, I just don't, I know that film was Rin Tin and Christmas Carol, and that motion capture really turned people off, Polar Express. But the design and what they can accomplish, the movement, the battles, just blow away anything where you have to interject human face and features into it. I just feel like this is top notch. Really, really enjoyed it. The creature design, her clothing, the tattoos, the world. This is just the first episode. I was just so impressed. Now for this first episode, Sonnies Edge. Now I think it's 4K. It's HDR. It's not the clearest presentation. It's just very detailed. Now there's always that fine line between 4K resolution and the really clear image that so many of us want. But if it's in lieu of making it look more false, then it's hard. This has to still look like it's shot at night. It still has to look gritty, kind of gross where it is. But very, just the detail in this character you're seeing here, I mean, unreal. You can feel the weight of it. So this video, like I said, is random. This is what I'm watching right now. But those of you that are in the same age group that remember heavy metal, those of you that really appreciated Blade Runner, and then its follow-up Blade Runner 2049 with the, even the soundtrack has that same aggression. I was really impressed with this. And I've only seen the first 3 or 4, and they vary a great deal. The third one is a little more heavy metal-ish in terms of its nudity, so keep that in mind if you're somebody who's sensitive to violence, and I don't know if you're watching the channel if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, but excellent. I mean, I really, really recommend it. Those of you with bright displays or OLEDs or just very good blacks, very great spectral highlights, very bright, especially this episode. But give this episode a shot. Tell me what you think in the comments and if it's something that interests you, and then we'll go through the other episodes. But I was just very, very impressed with it. And there's also something to be said about minimalist dialogue and just having well thought out action as well as the well thought out technology without giving a lot of backstory. And these episodes tend to capture a lot of that without much story needed. Sometimes there's not enough story in film, or it's overblown with story. Going back to Alita Battle Angel, I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay. I didn't like it anywhere near as much as the animation. It is trying to Hollywood it up too much, making it too shiny, making it things too pretty, adding too much subplot. These strip that away. They're very good. They're very short. I think this one's only about 15 minutes, but let me know what you think about it. I was blown away by it. I would love to see more of this universe, but able to capture so much. It reminds me also a little bit of the excellent but overlooked Animatrix, which I wish they would do a 4K copy of. But the only problem I have with these short films is they leave me wanting more, which isn't a bad thing. But check it out. This is Sonnies Edge, and check out this series. I think you'll like it. I think for you guys visually, between gaming and sci-fi, it's right up your alley. I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Thank you as always, guys. Take care.